This is Chicago's Morning Answer.
Daddy, what do taxes pay for?
Oh, why, everything. Policemen, trees, sunshine.
On AM 560.
And let's not forget the folks who just don't feel like working, God bless them.
The Answer.
Friday afternoon, actually Friday morning, President Trump declared a national emergency along our southern border.
I'm going to be signing a national emergency because we have an invasion of drugs, invasion of gangs, invasion of people, and it's unacceptable.
And he was a little sing-songing. Did you watch the press conference there, Bruce?
I think I saw the SNL one. Isn't that the same?
Well, he did get a little sing-song as he knows and recognizes the legal hurdles that are ahead.
Emergency, and we will then be sued, and they will sue us in the Ninth Circuit, even though it shouldn't be there. And we will possibly get a bad ruling, and then we'll get another bad ruling, and then we'll end up in the Supreme Court, and hopefully we'll get a fair shake, and we'll win in the Supreme Court, just like the ban. They sued us in the Ninth Circuit, and we lost, and then we lost in the appellate division.
This is a great cold open. I love this.
And then we went to the Supreme Court, and we won.
That's funny that you mentioned it, because here was the cold open on Saturday Night Live.
Right. So I'm basically taking military money so I can hasball. So I'm going to sign these papers for emergency, and then I'll immediately be sued, and the ruling will not go in my favor, and then I'll end up in the Supreme Court, and then I'll call my buddy Kavanaugh, and I'll say it's time to repay the Donnie, and he'll say, new phone, who dis?
But in all seriousness, there is some pushback from some Republicans. Marco Rubio's not for it. Suzanne Collins is not for it. Lindsey Graham is all about this. He says this is a national emergency.
Well, the president will have to make a decision where to get the money. Let's just say for a moment that he took some money out of the military construction budget. I would say it's better for the middle school kids in Kentucky to have a secure border. We'll get them the school they need, but right now we got a national emergency on our hands. Opioid addiction is going through the roof in this country. Thousands of Americans died last year and dying this year because we can't control the flow of drugs into this country, and all of it's coming across the border. So the dangers presented by a broken border
to Customs and Border Patrol, though.
And President Trump, sent his, flackies out all weekend to say that there is definitely an emergency. Here's Congressman Jordan.
All I know is this is a serious situation. This is a crisis. Look at the drug problem, the human trafficking problem, the gang violence problem. That's why we need the border security wall, and that's what the president is committed to making sure happens.
That was his little answer that he gave when Martha Raddatz, I believe it's Martha Raddatz.
Yes, she was
ABC
filling
News
in for
this
George
week. Well, she
Stephanopoulos.
says, Congressman, can you give me an example where a president asked for something Congress rejected, and the president went ahead and said he would do it anyway, and Jordan didn't have an answer to that because it hasn't really happened. And I liked your portmanteau, your neologism of flackies. A combination of combination of flunky and flack, and I like it, a flacky.
Let's bring into the conversation Emma Dumain. She is correspondent for McClatchy, DC. Excuse me. And good morning, and welcome to the program.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
So, Emma, where do we go from here, and how is he going to get the funding? Where is he going to be getting the money from?
They have underplayed or tried to assuage concerns that getting the money to build the wall would be in any way disruptive to existing allocations for various federal projects around the country. There's been concerns that he would go to the Army Corps of Engineers, which funds water and major infrastructure projects around the country. There's concern that he would go take money from that pot of money. There's concerns that he would take money from military construction projects around the country, and in general, sort of chipping into existing federal pots of money that are already in many ways being starved for resources because for the past several years we've had Republican government in the House, the Senate, and the White House that has wanted to rein in spending. So from many points of view, there's already not that much money to go around to begin with. The administration has tried to assuage those concerns, saying we have enough money, we're going to make smart decisions, we'll take a little bit here, a little bit there, and Again, this is a national emergency, and we'll end up saving money in the future because we'll be creating more jobs. We won't have to have as much manpower at the border because we'll have this wall. But the reality is, we're not going to know. We're not going to know until we see a plan, until the president and his team start to actually put this emergency declaration into action. He just announced it on Friday. It's a long weekend. There's still a lot of steps he has to take going forward.
Sure, Emma, and I'm no constitutional scholar, although I am an attorney, but I think I know more about medical malpractice. So, so here's my question.
You're already ahead of me.
Oh, okay, that's fine. But we're all constitutional scholars in this great republic. So, as far as I can divine and distill the argument, it's that basically it comes down to whether this is a military or a civilian expenditure of money, because you can justify it as a military expenditure, and we do have 4,000 troops down there. It's almost like asking if the dress is gold or blue. Remember that thing a few months ago? So you're going to have arguments on both sides. And that's why you even have conservatives, of course, we're all we're cucks and we're neocons and all that. And, we still subscribe to the Weekly Standard that doesn't exist anymore. But I'm just saying, that, it does bother us because Obama used the phone and the pen, and now Trump is using it, and we seem to be flip-flopping on this. So where does the legal argument go?
I mean, that's going to be the question, and the legal argument, right now, so new in this process, the legal argument is tied up very much in politics.
Well, yeah. Oh, go on.
Yeah. So that's So that's where people are going. The people who don't like this plan are saying that it's overreach. The people who do like this plan are saying that it's sufficient. Someone like you played a clip of Lindsey Graham, the senator from South Carolina, who didn't like it when Obama used his phone and his pen to change immigration laws, even though he liked. So the thing that's interesting with someone like Lindsey Graham is he liked what Obama was doing in terms of creating more opportunities for immigrants to get legal status through the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program, which was Obama's executive order that's now going through the courts, that President Trump is trying to redact. But he didn't like the way the president did it. So this is sort of the conflict for him right now, where he wants to support the president of his party doing something that originally, Graham was expressing some consternation about, saying, I'm not sure that this would stand up in the court of law. I'm not sure that this would go well, and has changed his tune and say, no, this is appropriate. This is the way to go. This is the only way to do it. So that's at this point, the legal argument is going to come together at a certain point, but right now the politics are what's really driving this conversation.
Yeah, and already the ACLU and the state of California is suing for an overreach of executive power, and I think 6 more states are going to be joining in on that lawsuit. Yeah. So those are states that they're seeing a constitutional problem because they don't like the policy. That's the reality. Mm-hmm.
Do we have to wrap up? Because I have a final question. No, I have a final question.
Well, then by all means,
okay.
Bruce
Wolf.
Well,
I hate to say,
Emma, did you know that Bruce Wolf has a final question for you?
Well, here's the thing.
Here's the thing. I'm over boiling with anticipation.
Well, here's the thing, Emma Dunn of McClatchy. Here's the thing. It is President's Day, and I hate to sandbag you here, but it is President's Day.
Seriously?
Who was the 32nd president of the United States?
Emma, it's okay. I didn't know either.
No, I'm not even going to try.
We're not going to play your little reindeer games, Bruce.
All right. Okay.
I should have Wikipedia'd that before I came on.
That's a trick question. We actually skipped the 32nd precedent.
So I know things are shut down in Washington, D.C. today. What do you expect to happen tomorrow?
That there's not a government shutdown?
Yep.
What do I expect to happen? Well, nothing's going to happen at the Capitol tomorrow because they're in recess for a week.
Okay. Gosh, they take a lot of breaks. My co-host is on recess this week, too.
Yeah, right,
I bet you he knows who the 32nd president was.
Yeah, right.
FDR.
Well, they like to say that they eschewed many breaks to deal with various government shutdowns over the past several weeks. So they think they deserve a vacation. But they'll also tell you, we're not on vacation. We're meeting with constituents. We're holding town halls.
I love the town
Rotary
hall.
clubs.
Of course.
Lots of town halls.
All right,
All right, Emma, I'm sorry for sandbagging you. I'll never do it again because I'm never being invited back on this show. Thank you.
That is Emma Dumain, yes, correspondent for McClatchy, D.C. Thanks, Emma, for joining us on our